I've been collecting anime figures for almost 20 years now, and I own a lot of great ones. And some not so great ones. I've even owned a few bootlegs. But there's one figure that stands out as the worst in my entire collection. Now, quality of figures is something that I always feel is up for debate, and everybody has different tastes. I know myself, I've moved on from buying prize figures as I'm just not a fan of the quality. And I know people have umbrage with the likes of Funko Pops for having a lot of quality control issues as well. But there's just one figure that makes me angry at its entire existence. To set the scene, I am a huge long-term fan of RPGs originating from Japan. I started with the likes of Pokemon before picking up Suikoden 2. From there I went into Legend of Legia, Dragon Quest, Trails of, Fire Emblem and Xenoblade Chronicles to name a few. To this day I still spend a lot of time playing these games. I absolutely adore them. But there's one, and I know which one you guys are thinking of when it comes to JRPGs. Yes, that one. Final Fantasy? Well, to be perfectly honest, I haven't enjoyed a Final Fantasy game since X2. However, I really enjoyed the early installments of 4, 5 and 6. And of course, Tactics. I'm not insane. And it was because Final Fantasy was in such a horrible state with its 13 releases that I needed to try and get something like classic Final Fantasy. And what game filled that classic void? Bravely Default, Flying Fairy. And I was really excited for Bravely Default. I tried the demo, it was really good. I couldn't wait to get my hands on the game. I even pre-ordered the collector's edition of the game. And that, my friends, was my undoing. The collector's edition came with a huge box housing the game, an art book, cards, and the soundtrack. But what interested most people was the statue of the character Agnes, a scale resin figure that any fan of the series would be proud to own. At least that was until it was in people's hands. And the quality was, in a word, shocking. And here is the final product. As you can obviously see, clearly no expense was spared when it came to this figure. As you can clearly, evidently see, it's top-notch in quality. That face alone is just better than any scale I have ever seen. And to add insult to injury, putting this one in its box is just a no-no as well. The box is absolutely huge and takes up far too much space for any normal person. And did I enjoy the game itself? Despite really enjoying the demo, I just didn't get into the game itself. And sadly, the price of the collector's edition plummeted on the back of everything. It just wasn't worth selling this one off. And so, I'm haunted to this day by this horrible looking figure. Redemption would come somewhat in the form of pop-up parade line, as Agnes and a few other characters would eventually get figures more accurate to their in-game style. But for me, the damage was done. I didn't want to buy anything more from this particular series. But what is yours? What is the worst figure that you have ever bought? Is it a bootleg? Is it an official one? Or is it just something that you had high hopes for and ended up being underwhelming? Let me know in the comments. Share your stories. And if you did like this, remember to leave a like and consider subscribing. I'll see you on the next page.